Joined now by Dave Holmes and Adam King from 10 TV and by Timmy Hall and former Buckeye receiver DeVere Posey. You hear him on 97.1 The Fan along with Timmy Hall. And Adam, Ryan Day has talked all season about toughness, competitive stamina. How much of that has to do with his defense and with what happened a year ago? And is this game now the test?
Every part of it. I mean, it's wild. Ohio State has won 11 games this year. And for any other school in America, that's amazing. You're celebrating, you're cheering. Mm-hmm. And for Ohio State, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. Every part of the toughness that we've seen from the defense, stepping up, even against Notre Dame, holding them to a low score, none of that matters unless they can go out and prove it against Michigan. Because last year was the first time, there were some problems with defense all year long, but last year, at the end of the Michigan game, if you were a Buckeye fan, you didn't think your defense could get off the field. That was the problem. You just kept thinking they're just going to keep running the ball and scoring. And then you saw it a little bit again in the Utah game, and with it, it changed everything about this Ohio State team. Toughness is written on every wall inside the Woody. It's every word, the first word that comes out of every player's mouth is physicality and toughness. We saw it questioned at the Heisman ceremony. I mean, when you hear that, and C.J. Stroud just had to stand there and just take it, It's every part of what this Ohio State team is, and it's the only way that they get to truly say they are physical is if they win on Saturday.
This is a Tommy Eichenberg game.
Yeah. It is.
Well, Tommy Eichenberg, 17 tackle kind of game.
Well, Tommy Eichenberg, I think, is a perfect example of the difference in Ohio State. I mean, Tommy Eichenberg, Jim Knowles made the grunt joke where he just goes out there and he doesn't even talk. He just, I mean, the guy's got two broken hands, and he just wants to tackle and win football games.
Well, after last year's game, Timmy, they got rid of 3 defensive coaches. They bring in Jim Knowles. He puts in a new defense, and he even talked about earlier in the week, it's all about the competitive stamina. That's what they're doing, the toughness. With that said, we have seen Ohio State's defense. Is it fixed? Do you have any concerns? Because, all you got to do is look at that tape of last year. They drove it down Ohio State's throat for, 300 yards and 6 rushing touchdowns.
6 touchdowns.
Ooh, yeah. I mean, they should be forcing them to watch that tape over and over. They should set it up on their iPads or whatever kind of tablets they have, and you're forced to watch that for 60 minutes before you go to bed. Because whatever's been done, whatever Jim Knowles has brought in, like you said with the 11-0, that means a little bit. It mostly means nothing unless you beat the rival when you lost to them last year. That's kind of where I am with this defense. So are there concerns? Yeah, there's concerns. Have you watched the secondary for the better part of the last 6 weeks? I mean, good Lord. And I'm not that concerned that J.J. McCarthy is that guy to light them up, but there have been some pretty regular quarterbacks. I mean, is he not on Taulia Tagovailoa's level? Taulia threw it around.
I don't think he's on that.
Sean Clifford's been around for a long time, but he continues to throw for over 350 yards and whatnot. But there are some young guys that are still cutting their teeth in that back end. I mentioned Tommy. I feel like if they're going to win, Tommy Eichenberg is going to have a legendary type of game, and then either someone on the defensive line, Zach Harrison or JT Tuimoloau, maybe we're overshadowing some of the dudes in the interior of that defensive line, like a Teron Vincent. A lot of Mike Hall talk early in the year, but then some injuries have gotten to him. But there's been guys that have been stepping up there too.
All right, Dave, you look at this Michigan offense, and they like first and foremost they run the football. We don't know what Corum's going to do, if he's going to play or not. Ohio State's assuming they will. But they complement the run with the short passes. They really don't go long down the field. They try to kill the clock. I mean, it's who they are. Next thing you know, they've had an 8-minute drive, and they get a touchdown or whatever. With that said, does Ohio State have anything up their sleeves? Do you think Jim Knowles has alluded all season long? They've got so much, in reserve. Do we see some surprises in this game from the Silver Bullet?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I do think that Jim Knowles is going to be ready for this one. He better be. I mean, the moment you sign that contract, he knew what he was getting into. He was the guy who was brought in to fix this game. because of what happened last year. So I think Ohio State's defense should be up to the challenge. It's total gut check time. But here's the thing. They've looked better this year. And you can stay up all night long studying for your exam, doing the flashcards. But you know what, Dom? It doesn't matter if you know the content at 2 in the morning.
Yeah.
It matters when you show up on the test day. Yeah. And if you don't put it on the page, it doesn't matter. They've looked better, but you have to go out and get it done here.
You know, DeVere, everyone on that football team from Ohio State was embarrassed, but especially the defense. Those guys have had to live, you know, the toughness remarks were directed at them. They could not get a stop, so they've had to live with that. All that chatter, you know, and the embarrassment that they saw. With that said, how angry will the Silver Bullets be in this game? And it's one thing to be angry. This game's about emotion. You got to play smart, though, right? Don't do something stupid.
Exactly. You got to watch your emotions in this games because obviously the pregame, the 50-yard line, please have all the coaches from both teams separate these guys because they know what kind of rivalry this is. But I want to go back to the doctor. The Dr. Jim Knowles, the guy that was hired for this job to fix this problem that we have with the running game. This man is an absolute genius. I'm a big fan of Jim Knowles. I love what he did last week, putting Tua Tagovailoa in a terrible situation, showing blitz, backing out the zone. I love what he does conceptually. I mean, this guy threw a cornerback blitz on the first play of the game, first play of the season in Notre Dame. He's a gambler. I would love to see how he gambles and what he does when he has 2 10s. He's splitting the 10s, Dom. And I believe he's going to have a plan for these guys. He's going to have something up his sleeve for JJ. He's going to have him thinking, throwing different blitzes at him. And I believe we create some turnovers with Jim Knowles.
What happened on that cornerback blitz at the first play of the season?
What happened on the blitz is, well, that's the thing.
Dealer flipped an ace.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. Sometimes you gamble and sometimes you lose. But I think Jim Knowles, man, just what he brings conceptually, the toughness. I mean, his journey as a coach, he understands that this is the pinnacle of college football. This is the pinnacle of rivalries. He'll have something up his sleeve.
And Dom, I want to be clear, for the kids watching, you never split 10s. You take
I'm
the guaranteed win.
Yeah.
Please play responsibly. Play responsibly.
All right, guys, great stuff. Be sure and keep it on 10 TV, 97.1 The Fan for all your Buckeye coverage.